Hey, what's up guys? So today's video is going to be one where I give you some basics on tennis strings. So if you're in the market to buy a new string or you're looking to learn a little bit more about tennis strings, you're going to want to stick around. So if you like this video, I'd appreciate if you could smash that like button and subscribe because it really helps us out. So with that, let's get started. Buying tennis strings, as simple as it sounds, can be very complicated. There are many strings to choose from, and when deciding on a string, there are many factors to consider, such as what is the most suitable for power, control, durability, spin, comfort, and price. As you can see, this can be quite overwhelming. However, it is very important to choose the right string because it can greatly impact performance on the court and the feel of your tennis racket. Here are the important things to know when purchasing a tennis string. So when it comes to tennis strings, there's some terminology that you're going to want to understand. The first being that people are going to refer to a string as being stiff or soft. And this really means how elastic the string is. So a softer string is more elastic and it's going to provide more power because you get that trampoline type effect. A stiff string is going to provide you more control and more durability, less power. However, the natural properties of a stiff string is going to give it a couple of distinct advantages. The first being that it's going to snap back into place naturally. And what we mean by this is that when you hit the ball, the string is going to move initially. And then right after impact, the string will snap back into place. And that's because with the stiff string, it's very smooth surface. And that allows the ability for the string to snap back into place. And this helps to facilitate putting more spin on the ball. The second distinct advantage is that with a stiff string, it allows it to be cut into different types of shape, whether that's a square, a hexagon, an octagon, and I've even seen some strings be cut into star shapes. And this provides more bite on the ball, allowing, again, for more spin. So if we look at a poly string that is very stiff, for instance, how you can tell that it's not very elastic is if you bend the string like so, and it basically stays like that. A more elastic string, for example, the Technifiber NRG, if we look here at the Technifiber, if you bend the string, it comes back like this. It does not stay like the poly string did, and this is a much softer string. One disadvantage about having a stiff string is that it's not going to particularly absorb vibration very well. So if you have arm problems or tennis elbow, you may want to use a more softer string, which is going to be much more comfortable to play with. The other terminology you're going to want to know when it comes to tennis strings is gauges. So the strings come in different gauges. It's typically found in 15, 16, 17, and 18 gauge strings. So by gauges, we refer to the thickness of the string. So the lower the gauge number, the thicker the string is. So for instance, a 15 gauge string is thicker than a 16 gauge string. So the lower the gauge number, the more durable the string is because it's thicker. However, the thinner the gauge is, the more power that you're going to get as well. And it's going to have better playability too. Also, with a lower gauge number, you're going to get more control. So there are 4 different major types of strings that are commonly sold in tennis stores today, and we're going to get into what those are right now. Polyester or poly strings are most commonly used by the pros, and I also use them. The biggest advantage to using a poly string is spin optimization. When the ball is struck, the strings have a tendency to move, and a poly string is very stiff, which gives it the ability to snap back into place right after impact. This helps give the ball spin. Also, poly strings are cut in various shapes, such as a square, hexagon, or octagon, which provides added bite on the ball, enhancing spin. The other advantages are that they are ideal for control and they are very durable. Depending on skill level, they can last weeks or even months. I typically play twice a week for about 2.5 hours a day, and my strings last about 2 weeks before I break them. I believe poly strings are relatively inexpensive. You can get an outstanding polyester string like Solinco Hyper G for $13 and pay about $19 for a high-end poly like a Babolat RPM Blast. The disadvantages of a poly string are it has poor tension maintenance. I have noticed that I start to lose a bit of tension after playing only for a couple of days. Probably the biggest disadvantage is that these strings are not arm friendly, and you can notice pain particularly in your elbow because these strings don't absorb shock very well. They aren't the most comfortable string to play with as well. Also, poly strings have low power level because they are stiff, and you don't get that trampoline effect like you would with a softer string. Multifilament strings play most similar to natural gut, and it is a very comfortable string. If you have arm problems like tennis elbow, this is the string that is ideal for you because the string is soft and you have high power level since you get that trampoline effect. And it has outstanding comfort and feel since it absorbs shock well. It is very good at tension maintenance. The tension is pretty consistent throughout the life of the string. The disadvantages are that it is not a durable string at all. I played with this type of string before and I broke them after 3 days of playing. Also, it's an expensive string. You typically pay between $15 to $20 for a quality multifilament like Wilson XT, Babolat XL, or Technofiber NRG. Synthetic gut strings have been around for a long time. It is adequate or average for all major areas you look for in a string as far as comfort, power, spin potential, durability, but it's not outstanding in any particular area either. I noticed when I played with them, they last anywhere between 1 to 2 weeks. They are pretty inexpensive strings, and they typically are only about $10 or less. You can get a quality synthetic gut string like Gamma TNT for about $10. Natural gut strings are the softest strings. They have maximum power, feel, and comfort. If you have never played with natural gut strings before, it is definitely worth trying at least once in your life because they feel unbelievable when you hit with them. The biggest disadvantage of the string is durability. Although natural gut strings feel great, they don't last long at all. I played with natural gut strings 3 times before, and each time I used them, they only lasted for 1 day. They are also very expensive. You can pay anywhere between $30 like a Clip Legend or $50 like a Babolat DS Gut. So they're definitely wallet busters for sure. When finally deciding on a string, the person stringing your racket will ask what tension you want to string it at. On the racket, there should be a recommended tension range you should stick to. Higher string tension is ideal for more control, but has less durability and power. Lower string tension is ideal for more power due to the added trampoline effect and durability, but will have less control. Every player will have different preferences, so you can experiment with different string tensions to see what works best for you.
Please like or subscribe below. If you didn't like our video, I should get